Guys, how's it going? Good morning. It's not really morning, but sort of morning. Um, so I've been trying to get this video done for the last couple days. I was trying to find somebody that I could tag in this video, and it was um anyway, was harder than I thought. But anyway, so I was tagged in a uh little series or hashtag or whatever by Carla to do a simple tag video. I can't remember what the hashtag is, but I'll put it in the title. And then I did find somebody to tag. So I'm tagging Jessica Harris to continue this on. We're trying to see how long we can keep this going. So she'll be tagged in my video in the description down below. Anyway, and all the instructions are there, Jessica, so you'll see what you're supposed to do. It's really not hard. Anyway, so thanks Carla for, you know, getting me getting me going. Um anyway, so I'm working on a series of journals and they're kind of along the same lines as what I do lots of times where I just sort of do it like a naked journal and just include really yummy papers and stuff like that. Um, and so but I want to also include some like naked tags that people can, um, use however they want in those journals. So I just did some really simple collaging of book pages on some file folders and just cut them up into different sizes. Um, I didn't measure most of them. Some of them I did measure to be 2.5 inches wide and 2 inches wide because I've got these little tag topper punches that I wanted to use, and they need to be, this one needs to be slightly less than 2 inches for this one. This is a Stampin' Up! Punch, and then this is a Paper Studio punch, and they just punch kind of like a decorative, top on the tags. So this one you can do 2.5, 2, or 1.5. So I usually just go 2.5 on this one, and that way you get you know, the full tag topper shape. But you can do 2 inches and then 1.5, and it just gives you different versions of that. Just gets skinnier and skinnier. Know what I'm saying? Anyway, so I didn't measure most of them, but some I did. And here's my little stack of the ones that I did measure. But the rest of these are just cut to, you know, whatever size I felt looked right. Um, so basically all I want to do is sort of adorn these in some really simple ways, mostly the corners or the top, so that I can leave the center for whoever wants to, add something to it. Like they could add, photos or, um, you know, other little decorative bits or whatever. And then the back should be blank also. So that's what I'm doing. Um, one of the things that I wanted to do was just add some like photo corners onto these. So I also have a punch. Where is that punch? Here, there's this one. This is a Martha Stewart punch that does a corner, like a photo holder, a photo corner. And I have a bunch of them that I've already punched. Um, and a lot of these I just did with, using scraps. But it's a really cool little punch because it gives you the corner, and then it does a like a score line where it folds over. So it's kind of cool. I don't know if this punch is still available or not, but but yeah, it is a Martha Stewart product. So I'll see if I can find it um, on Amazon, and then I'll link it down below. And I'll see if I can find this one. You won't be able to find anywhere other than eBay probably, But this is the scalloped tag topper. That's the official name for it. And then this one is a Paper Studio, and it obviously comes from Hobby Lobby. So basically these just go right on the corners. And I just think they look kind of elegant um, and pretty, you know. And I forget about these a lot. I used to use them all the time when I was into making cards. And I used to add like little um, like quotes and things like that that I had printed out onto, like resume paper or what, and whatever. And I would just use these corners to attach those onto my greeting cards. But I don't really make cards anymore. It's one of those things that I made way too many of, and they wound up just in a box in the closet. So I didn't really know what to do with them after I had made all these gazillion cards. And I tried selling them uh, on Etsy, but I'll tell you, it's not much profit margin in selling greeting cards on Etsy. Just saying. Um, at one point, I was doing paper quilling. Have any of you guys ever gotten into doing paper quilling? It's really fun. I got kind of addicted to it for a little while, and I did sell some of those real early on in my Etsy shop, um, selling quilled paper cards. Let me see if I can find another silver one. So it's kind of time consuming, but once you kind of get into the groove of doing this, it's not too bad. And I'm just using art glitter glue to attach these. This makes them kind of pretty, I think. I'm just using a baby wipe to kind of clean up the glue. So there you go. So that's just, real simple. And then I like to I use this swing line hole punch. Punches a slightly larger hole than the We Are Memory Keepers crocodile. So I didn't know this was going to turn into a product review video, but it sort of is, I guess. So the thing about the crocodile that I kind of don't like is that the holes that the larger hole, so it punches two different size holes. I think it's like 1/8 inch, and then it's like 3/8 inch or something like that. Um, the the eyelets that you need to use to accommodate this hole are kind of what I want to say. Um, I'm looking for a specific word here. Um, Basically, the only place you can get that size eyelet is from We Are Memory Keepers, and most of the other like eyelets that you can find that are not We Are Memory Keepers, they're too big for this hole. And so that's why I use the swing line punch, because it's a perfect size for basically, any of the like other eyelets that you can buy, the larger ones, that are not We Are Memory Keepers. Does that make sense? Proprietary. That's the word I was looking for. It's like all the products that We Are Memory Keepers puts out that are, like eyelets and things like that for use with the crocodile, they only work with the crocodile sizes for some reason. I don't know. I guess that's not really true for the smaller punch, the smaller hole punch. I use that small one. Um, the eyelets that I buy from Hobby Lobby, and those are the smaller ones. I think they're like 1/8 inch or something like that. Anyway, so that's that. So that's why I use this punch when I'm just doing like tag toppers and stuff like that, because it punches a slightly larger hole, and I can use all of these um, eyelets that I have that I purchased off of Amazon that were, cheap. I mean, the ones that We Are Memory Keeper sells they're pretty expensive for for eyelets. Anyway, um, so I'll either add a an eyelet, or I'll add just using the baby wipe to kind of dampen that just a little bit. Or I will use a little hole reinforcer on my tag. And that's the other thing about the swing line punch. It's like universal. It's like a universal size. Um, it works with all of the hole reinforcers. Whereas if you use the We Are Memory Keepers punch, or the crocodile, to punch that hole, it's too small. Like it's just not the same size. So anyway, I'm kind of rambling on about that, but so that's what I'm going to do with many of these tags. I'm just going to add photo corners onto them. So that's one thing you can do. And then, just add maybe a little piece of lace, or something something really simple onto the top. And I like to use something relatively skinny. I don't want anything real big and chunky on these. Okay. Just add something simple onto the top, maybe just some baker's twine, or um, uh, what do you call it? Seam binding. Seam binding is always a favorite. And you can tie it also, like you don't have to put it through and loop it. I like to actually tie it sometimes, like that. And sometimes I'll trim it off at an angle. So anyway, and then I guess I am just going through, different punches and stuff, because that's really what I planned on doing with these. So I like to use this slotted punch too, because it really accommodates um, laces and things like that, because it just gives you that kind of long, skinny punch. Um, and if you don't have one of these, you can definitely find these on Amazon. I bought mine at Hobby Lobby. Um, but one thing that's kind of fun to do, if you, let's see, where's that punch? So this punch is We Are Memory Keepers. What is this called? I can't remember what they call this, but it's like a garment tag punch. And I like it, but it punches a huge hole. Let's see. So if you move this little lever or this little sliding piece right here, that's how you can measure how far into the paper it's going to punch. So you would put your paper all the way up to that little stopper. But anyway, that's how it punches. And it's kind of a big punch, I think. So if you don't like that and that's a little bit too big for your taste, um, you can make that same shape using this slotted punch and then just a regular hole punch. And in this case, I like to use the crocodile for the hole because it's just, I don't know, it just seems to match better. So, and then just make your like a little hole on the top. So just an idea if you want to pull out all your punches. Okay, so there's those. And then this is another way that I like to top tags is using the tab punch. So this is a We Are Memory Keepers product. And if you'll have to kind of read the instructions, I guess, but it does just a nice little corner, and then you'll turn it over that way, and then you just get that. It does kind of like a corner punch out. You can make them smaller too, where you would, gosh, I haven't used this for a long time. Hold on, hold the phone. So let's see. I don't remember how this works. I'm kind of lining that up. And I guess I wasn't right. I don't remember how exactly that's supposed to work, but um yeah, it's probably been since I made those boxes that I have used this. So anyway, it just says like a tab on the top. And then of course we gotta round off these corners. But this tab punch board is pretty fun to play around with, and you can get some neat different types of like uh tab shapes on the tops of your tags. So there's that. And then the other thing that I like to do, well, obviously, just round the corners. This is my favorite corner rounder. Um, I like the I like the We Are Memory Keepers. Um, the chomper, the big chomper thing. This guy. Um, except sometimes it has a hard time with thinner materials. It does really well with like cardstock, but see how it sometimes just doesn't, I don't know, it's like it doesn't really chomp. See, it leaves these little pieces. And that could be because I'm punching through the book page and the cardstock at the same time, and it's not wanting to actually cut the book page because it works on thicker materials really well. But if I'm just punching paper, then I actually prefer this one. And I have seen this on Amazon. It collects all of the little pieces in the bottom, and then this part just comes off and you can dump it when it gets full. So I actually bought mine on jet pens, and I think it was about $13, something like that. And I've seen it on Amazon for right about the same. I do like that it has three sizes. It has small, medium, and large as far as, the corner. Um, Here's the small. I mean, it's pretty small, but, if you just want to take barely the corner off, it's a nice size. I mostly use the medium. That's the size that I use most often is the medium. Um, anyway, just a nice little corner punch. Okay, what else do I do? Oh, there's also just a circle punch is nice to do, like, smaller tags, and turn them into like a ticket shape, and you just punch the corners off like this. And you kind of have to just eyeball it to make sure that you're doing them the same size, I guess. There's a little circle on inside this metal part, and that's where I try to line up the corner of my tag when I push it in. I try to line it up in the center of that round circle that's in there. So that's one thing you can just look for, like, some kind of little point that you line it up to. So you can just make little ticket shapes too. Um, and another thing that I like to do is with this little Tonic Studios. Um, I guess this is a punch video. Didn't really think it was, but this is a perforator. Um, so you can take, like all those offcuts that we all have, all these strips of offcuts of scrapbook paper that everybody has. Um, Grab a ruler, something straight. You want something straight anyway. And you don't have to necessarily do these all the same size. Let me find something else. Hold on. Let me use this. Just eyeball it. Give us a straight line, and then run this across. Let's see. Let's do another one here. Okay, so I perforated this piece, and then I'm going to come in with my hole punch. This is actually, let's use this other hole punch. It's better. So you find your perforated line, and then another hole punch, a circle punch. I think this is a 5/8 inch. And then get your perforated line right in the center. Punch that. Where's my... Sometimes it's hard to see the perforation on patterned paper. And then I'm going to do this little corner. Oh my gosh, I'm so addicted to watching the Real Housewives, you guys. How many of you guys have watched Real Housewives Dallas? Oh my God. Who's your favorite character on there? Who's your favorite wife on there? Honestly, I have to say I like Cameron. She just cracks me up. She just slays me. Anyway, so then you just have little tickets, and so you can just put a strip of these in your journal, and then you have little tickets that you can rip apart and add into the journal. So that's one way to make little tickets. Um, I've got this little punch that I really like. It doesn't work really well on thicker papers. Um, it's best used on papers like, there's so many paper scraps in here, you guys. So this is just a thinner patterned paper. Um, I'll show you what it does. I'll show you what it does here in just a second. I think I got this on whoops. I think I got this from Jet Pens too. Hold on. There we go. You kind of got to put your weight into it a little bit. Just that. And then and then you can just scooch it up, and then it fits into these little tabs right there. And then just continue on down. And I don't know, I just think it looks nice, and it's a way to just kind of simply embellish a scrap of paper to make it look like, that was intentional. you know Anyway, and I have lots of those, the border punches. Those are also one thing that's kind of fun to do on, embellishing tags and tag shapes. The Fiskars, gosh, I haven't used these for a long time, but there's these punches too, and these are fun to use. There's like a different cartridges that make different shapes. It's little flowers, little stars. It's like a scallop. Um, this one does like a little circle thing. And then this one does little leaves. I should start using these more. I don't know why I don't use them, honestly. So there's that. Um, and then of course there's always, and this is just a great way to use up all these offcuts and scraps too. Not even, the collage pieces that I've done, but just all these offcuts of paper that we all have, and we all struggle with, what to do with them. So, um, I do have some favorite punches that I thought maybe I could share with you. So I like these thick uh punches from Fiskars. Um, you can cut through chipboard. I've cut through book covers with these. Um, if it'll fit in that slot, it'll cut it. Put it that way. So that's one of my favorite little shapers. Um, I've got this one. This one's like a little ticket. This is a Stampin' Up! Punch. It's kind of a pain because you have to have a strip that won't, well, I mean, trying to avoid punching that slot or that hole. Anyway, so you punch out your shape, punch out your ticket shape, and then you can either, see, I don't like this because it's hard to line it up. It's hard to line it up just right. But, I mean, I would rather just use a regular hole punch and then use my slot punch. I think that slot and that hole are kind of useless, really. Like I would rather just use this if I wanted to punch a slot in it. And these are kind of cute to, you could thread some ribbon through it or some seam binding or, even another piece of paper or something like that. Maybe put a little cluster on there and then, use it on a page with for a belly band or something like that. But anyways, I do like the shape. I like the shape of the ticket. And then these are my other like favorite sort of like tag punches. This is an EK Success. It just punches a tagged shape. It doesn't punch a hole in the top, but it's really similar to this shape, but not exactly. So that's okay. We don't want, too much repetition. And then this one I really like when I have scraps that I just want to kind of get rid of. I'll just go through and I'll punch out a whole bunch of these little ticket shapes because these are really nice to use um, in clusters or, um, just as embellishments to staple onto pages and things like that in layers. Um, it's more of a label shape though, actually, rather than a ticket shape. I would consider this more of a label shape. But anyway, and then this little square punch is really useful too. So Um, so those are some of my favorite like punches. I kind of have a thing for paper punches, I think. So let me just show you really quickly how this guy works. So need to. So this paper is punched out at 2 inches, and that's the topper that you get with a 2 inch. Um, see if I can find a 2.5. So here's a 2.5, and this is this is what I like to punch with this one is the 2.5. And then you get that full shape. See, it just gets smaller and smaller. So if you just punch the 1.5 inch, then all you get really is just barely a little bit of this corner, and then that shape at the top. And then this one is 2 inches, but it's actually slightly smaller than 2 inches. So when you're cutting out your strips, cut more at 1 5/8 because see how it doesn't like this rather than exactly on 2 inches because it's kind of hard to get in there. Anyway, so here's what this one looks like. And I really like this one. This is probably my favorite tag topper punch. So let's see if I forgot anything. I don't think I really forgot anything as far as the punches go. Um, as in just creating tag shapes. Um, lots of lots of paper punches and things like that. Um, the other thing that I do like to do, and I was planning on making a whole bunch of these for these journals, is to take a bunch of my scraps, a bunch of these pieces, and gather up different sizes. And I have a whole bunch more scraps of craft paper too, but I'm trying to find things that are different thicknesses and whatnot. So just grab pieces that are all different sizes You don't even have to really cut your scraps into any type of shape or size at all. Just real quickly. So then you want to take your biggest one, put it at the bottom, and then let's take this one there, and then take another one there, this one here, and then this one. Okay. So we'll get everything sort of aligned into one corner. Okay. Come in with this punch to punch a nice big hole. And then we'll just use an eyelet and crimp them together. Now I'm not going to smash this real hard. I'm just going to smash it a little bit. Okay. So it just barely grabs onto the back. And if you want to know what settings I'm using on my crocodile, I'm using number 2 and the letter A. So A2 are my settings on my crocodile for the larger eyelets. Okay. And then that just makes a little thing where, someone can sort of turn these around and make a little album, or this can be a little notebook or whatever. Whoops, that one came off. So there are, what was I going to say? There are eyelets that you can buy where you have here it is. So to avoid that, where that back one came off, you can use these sets that have this little like washer, and they're not they just really take some practice, I'm gonna say. They really take some practice to use. Let's see if I can do one. Okay, so I just took that eyelet out. Oh, this is gonna be fun. I have done this before, but so one thing I would say is clip these together so that you're not constantly trying to hold those together at the same time. Punch your hole, and then you want to take your washer and set it onto the little knob part. So you want to set it on the part that has the um not the plunger part, but the part that has like the little nipple shape. Okay. And then you're going to insert holding this. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Hold on. It's hard. Okay. So that goes in there. And that's not too hard to hold in that'll stay in there, but I want to get that little washer to just sit on there, and you got to kind of hold this flat so that I don't know if I'm using the right one. Hold on. Let's see if this works. No, that was the wrong, was the wrong, it was the wrong nipple shape. I don't know what else to call that thing. So I'm going to try it with, this has gotten so beat up. It's hard to read the numbers on these. So I think this is number 1. So I'm going to try it with number 1. See if I can get that eyelet out. Okay, got the eyelet out. And then you also kind of want to make sure that you have the washer kind of cupped up. Okay, so you want it sort of cupped up like that and not down. I've done this lots of times. I just don't remember what settings I've used on the crocodile. So let's see. There we go. So that worked. Okay, so that's how you do it with the little washer that you can get with these sets, with these eyelet sets. I'll leave a link in the description of this set that I bought. I did buy this a couple years ago, so if I can't find it, I'll try to find something similar. But okay, so here's the settings that you would use. You would use 1A, okay? So the plunger part is A, and the little nipple part is 1 on the crocodile. If you want to use the little washers that come with these eyelet sets. So that way they won't come apart. Okay. It makes it a little bit stiffer to turn these, but it's still turnable, It does make it a little bit stiffer. So anyway, that's just one thing that I wanted to do with these journals, and I probably would round off the corners on these. You could do like a whole bunch of, you know, tag shapes like this, and then just use an eyelet with a washer to kind of hook them together, maybe like 3 of them. I think 3 would probably be like max, you know, and you could do like a little tag set that way. Um, yeah. So anyway, so that's a 42-minute quick tag video, but I just wanted to, I have all of these punches pulled out, and I thought I would just kind of talk to you about my ideas and different things that you can do just to make really simple tags for journals, and at the same time use up a whole bunch of scraps, you know. Um, and if you don't have a lot of these punches, you know, I'm sorry, but um, you can find a lot of them on eBay, and they're really not that expensive. Like I think this one was like, I think it was like $8 or something like that. I know that this swing line punch really is a good deal, you guys. I think it was like $5 on Amazon, and I love this punch. It's like my favorite tag punch, and I'm really glad that I bought it. One thing I did do though is I made a little dot on there where the hole actually punches, because I use it upside down. So this is the way you would normally hold it, is like that. But I want to be able to see where I'm punching my hole from the top, right? So I just kind of eyeballed it, and I made a dot right on this little cover, um, where it's going to punch. And that way, I can be more accurate when I'm using it. So anyway, so that's that. Oh, don't forget also, one of the most obvious things that I always do, and this is sort of an afterthought now, but um, use your use your tabs on the tops of these, because those are great. Those are great, and you can use up all your scraps and just punch a whole bunch of tabs, you know, and then just glue them um, onto your collage pieces, you know. Even just really simple tags like this around the corners, maybe do some stitching with the sewing machine around the borders on these. And I think they're really pretty and still naked and still usable for someone else to add photos and embellishments onto those tags that you provided with the journal. So anyway, okay. If I think of anything else, I'll make another video. Okay, guys. Thank you to all my new subscribers, and I know many of you have probably clicked on by now, but um, if you haven't, thank you for hanging in there. And this is my first video for quite a while. I've been on another planet for quite some time. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks to my new subbies. And I will leave a link down below to Jessica Harris's channel. But you can just use the hashtag that's on the in the title to watch the rest of the videos in this compilation of all these ladies' different videos. Okay? So you get what I'm saying. Hashtag I can't remember. Okay? But I'll put it in the description. Okay, guys. I love you. Talk to you soon. Okay. Bye for now.